Good evening, members of the Chamber and fellow citizens of Lee County. Tonight, I will be speaking on an issue that I believe is near and dear to all of our hearts. If I could, I'd like to start out with a question. Don't worry, it's not a pop quiz. Raise your hand. How many of you know someone or are someone who's fought cancer? Alright, you can put your hands down. It wasn't that hard. I would venture to state that we all know of someone who suffers from this terrible disease, and that is why tonight I will be advocating our support as a community for the American Cancer Society. According to texascancer.info, the state's cancer statistic website, 84 people suffered from cancer in 2007 in just our county alone. Now, I know what you're thinking. Nicole, 84 people, that's not really that much. And while that may not seem like a big number, we must remember that this number was taken over a decade ago. And going on previous trends, that number's probably only risen since then. It doesn't matter if we have 100 people suffering from cancer in our community, or 10, or 5, 1 is still one too many. A cancer diagnosis not only affects the patients, it also affects the lives of everyone in a patient's life. Personally, I am the granddaughter, niece, cousin, and friend of cancer survivors, and I've even lost some to cancer. People not only in our community go through this problem, but millions of families across the world go through the same issues. I pray that I may never personally experience the effect of suffering from cancer myself, but the American Cancer Society is working so that the future generations may never have to experience any aspect of cancer other than reading about it in a history book. Since their origin in 1913, the goal of the American Cancer Society is to free the world from cancer. According to their website, cancer.org, they are focused on funding and conducting research, sharing information, supporting patients, and spreading the word about prevention. This organization has devoted over a century's worth of work in fighting against cancer, from giving out information on the best ways to prevent it, to funding the latest research to lead the fight against it. With over 200 locations across the country, they provide access for people in many different places. There are even 15 locations in Texas. From El Paso to Houston, Amarillo to McAllen, they're truly all across Texas. With their research and advances against cancer, they hope to one day find a cure so that no one will suffer again. Their research and advancements have not been in vain. Their hope of more and more survivors seems to be coming true. According to the National Cancer Institute, cancer.gov, in 2016, there were 15.5 million survivors in the United States, with the number of people surviving their cancer rising every year. The National Cancer Institute expects that there will be 20.3 million survivors in 2026. There are several different ways that we can support the American Cancer Society's fight by supporting their different fundraisers, their most popular fundraiser being Relay for Life. For those of you that don't know, in Relay for Life, teams walk throughout the night, never stopping, to represent the strength and bravery of those who fight and their determination to keep going no matter what their prognosis is. Our own Relay for Life in town is usually held the first Friday in June at the high school football stadium. Has dimmed in the past few years, but I think that there is no better time than now to reignite that flame and show how much we care for our people. Because when you support the American Cancer Society, you aren't just helping people in a different part of the country or helping fund some study in a different part of the world. You are helping the little girl down the street fight her leukemia in hopes that she'll make it to the 2nd grade. You are fighting with the boy from one town over who won't make it to his high school graduation because cancer has stolen that opportunity away from him. You are standing with your child's teacher who was diagnosed with cancer last week and letting her know that she's not going to fight this alone, that she is surrounded by a community that loves and cares for her. You are helping that mom or dad that goes to your church live long enough so that they are able to see their children grow up. By donating to the American Cancer Society, you're getting more than just a tax write-off and a pat on the back. You are being a part of saving someone's life. You are helping to ensure that the next generation, your children, your grandchildren, will suffer a little less. One of the greatest things about our community is our ability and willingness to be there for someone when they need us. Let us not forget about those who are fighting cancer and those who have lost their fight. Let us show them that we're here to support them. Together with the American Cancer Society, we can find a cure. We can end cancer. Thank you and good night.